Okay. So we are here today to talk about Fastbridge and why we are using it and what it's going to be used for GRCSU wide. So just so you know, the Fastbridge window is September 19th through October 6th for the reading and math portions, and October 10th through October 21st for the Sabers, which is the social emotional piece. So the windows don't exactly line up here in the fall. So you do have some time here to get to know your kids and to explore the website before you actually have to give the screener. So our goals today is to get all of our participants logged into Fastbridge and show you how to administer Fast Track Reading, Fast Track Math, and the Saber Screeners. So a quick Fastbridge overview. Fastbridge is a universal screening and progress monitoring tool for both academics and social emotional learning. Okay. It's also the universal screening will provide us information about students' current skills in comparison to grade level. It also identifies students in need of additional instruction and types of interventions necessary. Okay. Then it has a separate piece that's a progress monitoring that provides us a continuous feedback loop of how they're doing an intervention. And that's really going to help us with our MTSS work that we're doing this year. So I'm excited about that piece. So the purpose of using Fastbridge for GRCSU this year, screening-wise, it provides information that's a little bit different than MAP. Okay. There are curriculum-based measures, which are skill-specific. And there's also computer adaptive tests that look at the broad skills. In kindergarten and first grade in the fall, there are no computer adaptive tests, so we don't have to worry about that. They're all administered one-on-one. Okay. Progress monitoring provides a tool that can be used across GRCSU for literacy, math, and social emotional learning. It provides graphs to easily determine if an intervention is effective or not. Again, that continuous feedback to ensure progress, and it will support the educational support team in making informed decisions about interventions. Here are the screeners that are used in Fastbridge. We're doing Fast Track Reading. That will be K-6. It looks different in every grade level, but it's under that same umbrella. Fast Track Math, K-6. Sabers is K-12. And My Sabers is 2-12. So you guys don't have to worry about having the student take the survey in grades K and 1. Sabers, as you heard Lisa say this morning, is actually taking place of Review 360 because it can all be in one platform. So that'll make it a little bit easier for us. Okay. So what I'm thinking of today is there's a lot of small assessments that we need to learn how to administer. The actual process of getting to Fast Track Reading and to the assessment on the computer, it's all the same, but the actual individual subtests are different. So there's lots of videos on the Fastbridge website that you can go in and watch. And I think that would be more helpful to you than to listen to me talk about it. So I will quickly just run through these and then we'll have time to log into the website, look at it, and explore those videos. Okay. So Fast Track Reading, the screener gives you an early reading composite. It's 5 minutes or so per student in a one-to-one setting. Okay. You can do them all in one sitting. You can do it in multiple sittings. Okay. So that's up to you and up to what your individual students need. We have talked a little bit about the possibility of having interventionists go into classrooms and cover the classroom so that classroom teachers have time to administer these, especially in kindergarten when they're not, their routines are not built. So it's hard to do it in the back of the room while kids are working. So please talk to your interventionists or your principals and they can help create a plan with that. Okay. Here are some directions, basic directions on how to get to the assessments, and I'll show you how to do that when we log into the system. Here are the early reading composite subtests. You can see they're different in the fall, winter, and spring. So in the fall for kindergarten, you're giving concepts of print, onset sounds, letter names, and letter sounds. First grade is giving word segmenting, nonsense words, sight words, and sentence reading. Okay, but you'll notice that that changes over the winter and spring. First grade, you start to give a CBM reading, which is a fluency passage, in the winter and spring. Okay. Here are some skills that are measured within those. So when you're looking at concepts of print, you're looking for page orientation, left to right word order, etc. Onset sounds is looking at phonemic awareness, so on and so forth. Okay, and so here's just kind of a broad overview of each of the tests. So concepts of print in kindergarten, their answers are either right or wrong. So it's pretty simple. But you'll notice, and this is all laid out the same way. You have to prepare your print materials ahead of time, and I'll show you how to do that. You have to have your teacher screen ready. You place the materials in front of your student. You read them the directions and you start. Okay. All the tests are slightly different, whether it's correct or incorrect, or if it's a 3-second wait time, or if it's a 5-second wait time. Those vary a little bit, so please read the directions and how you discontinue the test. So in this instance, concepts of print, you're putting a piece of paper upside down. So it's blank side up and upside down to the student, and the student has to flip over the paper and orient it the correct way for them to read it. Okay. You discontinue the test if they get 4 consecutive items incorrect when you're asking them questions about it. Okay, so that's concepts of print. Onset sounds, again, print your materials, have your screen ready. The answers are correct or incorrect. And this time it's a 5-second wait that you give the answer or move on. Okay. And again, discontinue with 4 consecutive items. Okay. So here you're just, you're giving them a word and they're identifying the first sound. Okay. So pretty quick. Letter names. This is a timed assessment. So this is a 1-minute assessment. Your materials are prepared. Answers are correct or incorrect. They're incorrect if they say the letter sound, or they say the wrong letter name, or they have no response within 3 seconds. Okay. And they have to try 10 letters. They have to get all of them wrong in order to discontinue the test. Okay. Letter sounds is also a timed assessment. The key thing about this one is vowel sounds. We're asking for short vowel sounds. So if they were to give a long vowel sound, you can use the cue, can you give me another sound for that? But you can only use that cue 1 time. Okay, so if they say A, you can say, is there another sound for that? If they say, I don't know, E, you can't prompt that again. Okay. And again, discontinue after the first 10 sounds if they're missed. So those are the first 4 kindergarten assessments. They're quick, pretty straightforward, very scripted once you get into the system. Okay. First grade, it goes into word segmenting. Okay. This chart gives you correct responses versus incorrect responses. Okay. So if you give the word tap, the expected response is tap. They would get all 3 sounds correct. If they added an S on the end, it's still correct, okay, according to this chart. Some incorrect answers, if they just give you the word tap and they didn't segment it, they didn't get any correct. If they said ape, they got 2 out of 3 sounds correct. Okay, so it's really important before you start scoring that you remind yourself what are the errors and what's considered correct. Okay. Discontinuing this test is if the student gets the first 4 whole words incorrect. So they got 0 points on the first 4 words. Okay. Nonsense words, that's a timed assessment. Okay. They're either correct or incorrect. They either read the word correctly or not. misreads or mispronounces a word is considered incorrect, adds a sound, or delays more than 3 seconds. That's a missed word too. Okay. And then you have your sight word assessment. Okay. They're just reading a list of words. It's timed for 1 minute and discontinue if they miss the first 10 words. And here are some examples of errors. So 3-second pause, word reversals, omissions, no errors. If they repeat a word, that's okay. Okay, sentence reading is a 1 minute assessment, right? And you discontinue that if the student gets the first 10 consecutive words wrong. Okay. So those are the assessments, the fast track reading assessments. Okay. That's a super quick overview. I'm going to let you dig into this in a minute, but are there any questions real quick about those assessments and why we might be doing them?
Can I ask about the cueing again?
Sure.
Because you said if they said the long vowel sound instead of the short vowel sound, you can only cue that once. Is that once per the word or once per the entire assessment?
I believe it says once per word, but we'll have to, we can go back and check that, Josh. Great question. Any other questions? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quick flip through the math ones, and then we will work at the project of getting you all logged in, and we can come back to this. I just want to make sure we go through these together quick. So fast track math, again, it's a screener. It's an early math composite, and it's scheduled for 5 minutes per student in a one-to-one setting, right? You get to it exactly the same way as you'll get to the fast track reading. You'll just choose math instead of reading. Okay. Here are the early math composite subtests. Again, it changes from fall to winter to spring. And here are the pieces that are measured within each of those subtests. And these screenshots are all from the Fastbridge website. There's great resources on there, so you'll be able to dig into that a little bit more if you're interested. Okay, so for kindergarten, you have match quantity. That's a 1 minute assessment. Your answers are correct or incorrect. It's incorrect if the student does not point to the number correctly. Okay, so pretty straightforward there. Discontinue if the student responds to items 1, 2, and 3 incorrectly. Okay. Number sequence. There's a few more steps here to think about with answers. So it says items 1 through 6, students must say the next 3 numbers in the correct sequence. Okay. If a student says 1 or 2 of the correct sequence, you say, can you tell me more? Mark additional correct numbers. Only use this prompt once. And again, Josh, that's going to be the same prompt. So let's double check that as we're exploring. Just going to make a note of that. And then items 7 through 13, there's only 1 correct number, right? And then you discontinue if the student responds incorrectly to items 1 through 5. Okay. And the third and final for kindergarten is a timed 1 minute assessment for numeral identification. The answers are correct or incorrect. Okay. So first grade, you have a decomposing subtest. It's a 1 minute test. Right or wrong, if it's incorrect if they don't produce the correct answer. So again, straightforward. Number sequence is just like the second one that we were talking about in kindergarten. Items 1 through 5 has certain rules versus 6 through 14 has a different set of rules. and then numeral identification, which is a 1-minute assessment. Okay, again, answers are correct or not. So that is math and reading in a nutshell. Okay, they're quick assessments. And it's really nice how they have it set up on your computer screen where it actually has the directions right there. You click another button and there's what you say to the student. Here are the examples you give to the student. And here, click the start button. And then you can, it all goes into the system right away. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is get you logged in. So I'm going to skip ahead here. We are going to use Clever to log in. So if you could all do this while I'm walking you through it, that would be great. Unfortunately, I can't really show you because my screen looks different than all of yours. So on my screen, it's in the top left. It says GRCSU bookmarks. And if you click on that, that's where you find Infinite Campus, Dino, the GRCSU page, and then you can see Clever Login. If you click on Clever Login, you'll get a screen that says Login with Google. So click on Login with Google. And some of you may be rostered in multiple places, so you may have to click Login as Teacher. Then in the center of your page, there's going to be a bar that says district page. I think it says like teacher page, then district page. If you click on teacher page, district page on the blue banner, and then there's going to be a Fastbridge button, Illuminate Education Fastbridge. And you click on that. It should, in theory, for most of you, if you're an interventionist, it may not work. If you're a classroom teacher, it should work, that you should be logged into Fastbridge. So I'm going to stop presenting and I'm going to see how many people are looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm not logged in. So raise your hand if you are we're not able to log in. All right, so it's looking to me like interventionists.
Jamie, or excuse me, Lindsay, I'm looking at Jamie. I was told by Al that Lexia was also part of Clever, and I'm not seeing it, and I haven't seen my students update. Is that something you know about?
I do not. Al is working on that, but I will let him. Why don't you send him a message, Aaron?
Okay, because I've talked to him a couple times, and I still have last year's class in Lexia.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure where they are with all that. Thank you.
Yeah, Dreambox has changed, but Lexia hasn't.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. I've got interventionists. So Mallory, Josh, saw Lorraine, saw Jamie.
I might be in though. After I hit district page, what am I supposed to see? Oh, Illuminate, Educate, and Fastbridge. I've got it.
And it logged you in?
I think so. The thing is spinning.
Okay.
Lindsay, I can't even get to the bookmark page.
Okay. Were you not able to find it, April?
Can't find it. No idea where it is.
Okay, let me share my screen.
That
Sorry,
would be
you're all
lovely.
going to see you're all going to see your faces for a minute, so just bear with me. All right, so that's not going to work, is it? Woo! Let me open up a new window. Let's try that again. That's better. Okay. So April, mine's up here. It says GRCSU bookmarks.
Yeah, I don't have that.
April, I'll come over.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
Hi, Lindsay. This is Becky.
Yes, Becky.
I can get into Clever, but I don't see the tab for Illuminate.
Okay. This is why we scheduled extra time here so that we knew we'd run into some snags. Anybody else not able to get it? I've got Mallory, Josh, Lorraine, Jamie, Becky, April.
I wasn't able to get in, Lindsay. Leah Anderson.
Okay.
I'm in, Lindsay. This is Josh. I'm in.
Oh, yep. Okay. I was waiting for it to stop spinning on you, Josh. Cross it off.
Lindsay,
Leah, what point did you get to? Sorry, Cindy.
I started clicking on the things that you said to click on, which I don't remember what they were exactly off the top of my head, but none of them did anything. And when I tried the district one, oh, Jamie's here. She said she could try to help me because it's probably on my end. Thank you.
All right, keep me posted. Cindy, go ahead.
Okay.
so I got bumped out of the meet, and so I'm in the Clever page, but I don't know what you said after that.
No problem. So when you're on the Clever page, there's a blue banner, I'm told, that says like teacher page, then district page.
Okay. I'm on district page. Yep.
And you click on that, and then you should be able to see there's like a little arrow that says Fastbridge.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Anybody else? Maddie Morse, go ahead. You're unable to get into probably because intervention, I think. Okay.
Lindsay?
Yes.
This is Margot. I can get into Clever and I see the blue banner and it says McDonald page, but there's nothing there.
Did you go to the district page
Yes,
and nothing's there?
right.
So our interventionist, it's set up a little differently. If we're not tied directly to kids, it's a little different. So I have different logins for some of you. So I'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
Thank you, Margot.
Lindsay?
Yep.
I went in to play and check things out. I must be listed as the kindergarten teacher because I have the kindergarten roster.
All right. And you know what? I've been in under Rachel, and she's got both kindergarten and second grade.
Oh, okay.
I just logged on to Lindsay and I only see kindergarten on mine right now.
You do? Okay. So they must have updated that. Josh will work on that, but at least you're in so you can see what's in there. Okay. So if you are an interventionist, I'm going to have you try to go to the Fastbridge website to log in, and your username is going to be your email address. They just pushed out the Clever bookmark. I don't know if we need to update or close down computers to get them. Aaron, do you think that would work? I saw your message. So interventionist, it's your email, and then your password is going to be all lowercase, GRCSU 1234 exclamation point. Now let me know if you had any luck with that. Mallory, you're in. Good. Margot, did that work for you? Lorraine, you're in. Good. Thank you.
Yes, I'm in.
Great.
Thank you.
Yep. Maddie, can you try going to, let me just get the fastbridge.com and go to login from there and use your email, and I'll put the password in the chat here. All right, Steve, go ahead.
I was just looking at my roster. What do I do if I'm missing a kid on my roster?
So in the way this is supposed to work is it uploads directly from IC. So if a student is not loaded, it's probably on an IC end.
All right. Well, they're on Infinite Campus, but they didn't make it to here somehow. All right. I don't know who to contact, but we'll figure it out.
Do you know when they got put on your roster in Infinite Campus?
Within the last 4 days, 3 days. So fairly recently.
Okay. I'm wondering how long it's taking to update onto Fastbridge.
All right.
I'll look into that.
Thank you.
Leah.
Okay, so we got into Clever.
Yep.
We did mute just to like for our brain space. We're in the district applications. We're in Fastbridge now. Is there anywhere she should be like screening or progress monitoring?
Nope, she's in the right spot for now, logged in, and we'll go from there in a minute.
There you go.
Just want to get everybody logged in. Maddie, I'm gonna see if I can get yours sorted out here. Everybody, go ahead and try that again and let me know. Is anyone else still not in? Becky, were you able to get in?
Yes, I'm all set.
Okay, great. And Leah's in. I just put you into. Oh, go ahead.
I tried it again, Lindsay, and it's still just saying that I have an invalid user ID or password.
So I just loaded you in the system. You're at West Rutland, correct?
Yes.
Well, let me just fix it because I made a typo when I put you in.
Okay.
That would be why it's not working. All right, for right now, can you log in without an S in your last name?
I can try that.
We'll put your first name dot more at
Okay.
grcsu.org because I can't figure out how to quickly edit it, and I'll fix that later.
Okay.
But that can get you to where we are at least. Okay, anybody else? Erin, is it the extension or is it the bookmark?
She doesn't have, like, when I open mine, I have the extension at the top where I have Clever and I have Google Meet. She doesn't have any of that. And we tried restarting and refreshing, and I looked other places. She doesn't even have it at all.
Does she have a list for GRCSU bookmarks?
Yes, I believe she does, but I can have her double check.
Would you like me to like run down? I just got Leah on.
She doesn't even have the bookmarks. Like, I will double check, but it doesn't look like any of those are there.
I didn't have the bookmark either. I just typed in Clever in my address and I was able to get it through that.
Good problem solving.
All right, I'm gonna keep moving in. April, we'll problem solve around that if we're still not on in a few minutes. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen here so I can show you where to go. Rachel, is it okay if I log in like I'm you for a minute? Would you be okay with that?
Yes.
Thank you.
And I lied, Lindsay. I do see second grade still. I just wasn't looking in the right spot.
Okay. So we have to update all of that in Infinite Campus. So I don't know, Josh and Rachel, if you want to let Lori know that, because I think she's in charge of making sure those are correct. Okay.
Okay.
So when you log in, this is the screen you should see. Okay. If you're going to screening, like you're going to give the assessment, you're going to click on the screening tab. So that's the horizontal bar. On the vertical, if you're giving fast track reading, you're going to click on fast track reading and your roster should come up here. If you're giving fast track math, you're going to click on fast track math and choose your class if you have that option, right? And there it is. I can't show you how to start an assessment because the window is closed, but right here under status, there will be a little clock symbol, and you'll click on the clock and it will start the assessment for you, right? It's not there at the moment. So it's as simple as that. Going to screening, click on that, choose your kids. You don't have to do your students in order. You can skip around. Again, you can do one assessment, come back to it, do another assessment, come back to it, whatever works for your kids, okay? What I'm going to direct you to right now is the Training and Resources tab. Over here on the left is the downloads. Okay, so I mentioned that you have to prepare some materials ahead of time. You go to downloads. If you're doing early reading, you download your resources right here. Okay, your student resources and your administrator resources. I was going to print all of these things for you, but the administrator resource is very lengthy and it didn't feel like it was worthwhile to print that for everybody. Some people may want it printed and some won't. So I just figured you could print that on your own. The thing about the administrator portion is it walks you through how to do it paper and pencil, and then load the information into the computer. The videos will show you how to do it on the computer. Okay. So for reading, your screening part, it's a 31-page document, gives you all the screening pages that you need for the year. Okay. If you're looking for math, it's in the same location over here, your early math. This one is a little different. You have to print them out individually. Okay. It's really pretty quick. You only have 3 assessments to give in the fall, so choose the 3 that you need to print out and print those. Okay. Or you could create a binder for yourself for the year. Okay. Any questions about the downloads that you're going to need to use?
Are they more of hard copies or does each kid need a copy?
I believe you can just have like one copy and you're just giving, showing things to students because I think they're just pointing at them. Awesome. Great question. Okay. So that's the downloads. Okay. Then as you move through here, there's all kinds of training things that you can do. Okay. This is Fastbridge assessments in reading, Fastbridge assessments in math. We're not going to worry about the instruction and intervention at the moment. We're just worried about the screening. Okay. And then down here would be the Sabers portion. Okay. And there's other videos down here that you can use. So what I would love for you to do right now and take some time is to go to early reading English or early reading math. Most of you are going to be giving both. Okay. So early reading English, if I click on that, it's like a little module. Under the demonstration, they give you a video of what it looks like for the student and what it looks like for the teacher, I guess under each of these individual ones. So if you're giving concepts of print, okay, it's going to give you a demonstration from the student's perspective, from the teacher's perspective. Okay, and it does that for all of them. So if I were a kindergarten teacher right now, I would go through and I would watch the concepts of print, Onset Sounds. I have to remind myself what they were. Concepts of print, onset sounds, letter names, and letter sounds. Those would be the 4 that I would focus on right now. Okay. And if I were first grade, I would do my first grade ones, which were word segmenting, nonsense words, sight words 150, and sentence reading. Okay. So let's take 15 minutes and look at those early reading assessments, and then we can talk about it. Then we can take some time, I think, to go through the early math. Does that sound like a good plan for everybody? Does anyone have questions on how to get to these resources to watch?
Yes, I do. Can you get me there again? I definitely
Absolutely.
got lost in that.
No worries. There's a lot of buttons we're clicking here. So you're going to go to training and resources.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm there.
Then under reading, you're going to go to early reading English.
All right, hold on a second. Training and resources. Once I'm there, I'm not seeing I see downloads and I see benchmark norms at that point. Resources.
Yep. So scroll down a little bit.
Oh, gotcha. Rereading. Yep. All right, gotcha.
So you're going to go to early reading English. And then down the side here, if you scroll down, here's all the subtests.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
No problem. All right. So I'm going to give you 15 or so minutes. So it's about 1:40. So 1:55, we can come back and talk about the reading assessments. Okay. If you have any questions, I'll be here. So feel free to unmute and ask away. Steve, are you there by any chance?
Who are you looking for, Lindsay?
Sorry, Steve. Katie,
Okay.
I'm just looking for a same student. Thanks, Becky. Okay, I know I'm bringing you back a couple minutes early, but I just want to be cognizant of time and make sure we get through math and Sabers. So if we could all come back. And I just want to see if there's any questions about any of the literacy assessments that you're going to be giving here in September.
Are we going to have more time to go through these? Because I feel like so much stuff has been thrown at me today that I can't even focus on this right now, Lindsay. Like, I'm not trying to, it's a lot of great stuff, but I just don't feel like I've had enough time to look at it and be able to give this assessment.
Yep. I'm not sure if principals will be able to give a little bit of time or not. We don't have any, I think it will be on a building by building basis or what you have time to look at. For right now, it's just a matter of actually giving the screening assessment. We'll worry about reporting and all of that later. So it's just kind of the need to know right now. Like, how do I log in? How do I find the assessments? And what are the rules of each assessment? So again, you don't start actually administering these for a couple weeks. So hopefully you'll have a few minutes at some point to review them if your principal isn't able to give you any more time. So any specific questions that I can answer? And if not, I can give you a couple minutes to play around on the math side of things. All right, so you will find the math information in the same location. You just have to scroll down a little further, and it's called Early Math. And you can pick your 3 assessments for your grade level and look at how to administer those. And how about I give you about 10 minutes to do that, and then we can quick go through Sabers, which should be pretty quick. So about 5 after 2, we'll come back.
Lindsay,
Yes.
where can you find the sentence reading, which is first grade fall?
What do you mean? Where to find what purpose? Which part?
To print out sentence reading. Are there different sentences?
So if you go to, I just have to get back to my teacher view here. Let me share my screen and show you where to go. So under training and resources, should go to downloads. And then early reading download resources. And then the student copy, and it should.
So it's just one sentence that they have to read?
I believe it's more than that. So screen test of sentence reading. I see several pages here.
Oh, okay.
So screening form 1 has all of these.
Okay.
To go with it.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
So I don't know if it would be helpful, but so this is going to be the binder that has just kindergarten math, the kindergarten math, early math assessment. And this is a 1-inch binder, and that's the kindergarten math assessment. Okay. So that's about how long it is, because it has supertizing and it has number ID, and then it has match quantity. So you're going to need either a couple 1-inch binders or something a little longer, something a little bigger.
It looks like a good organizational piece there, Carrie. And you had it in page protectors, it looks like, too. So that might be.
Yeah, because the kids are going to touch them a lot, and you want to, yeah.
Thank you for that, Carrie. April, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Have you had any luck?
Nope. I had to put in a tech ticket.
Okay, Al just gave me one thing he wants me to have you check.
Okay.
So let me just share my screen so I can show you what he wants me to try.
Sure. Because I have nothing.
Okay. So he suggested that up in the very right-hand corner, there's the three dots.
Yep, we tried that.
Okay, and it's
Bookmarks.
you have it marked as show bookmarks bar.
Say that again.
For some reason, it's not showing on the share screen. If you go down to bookmarks,
yep,
and then on my screen, it's the third thing from the top. It says show bookmarks bar.
Yep, I have that.
And that's checked. Mine has a check mark
I
next
just
to
clicked. Nope, I clicked on it and nothing changed. Oh, it's checked now.
Okay. And do you see anything different now over on the left-hand side?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And Erin checked all that for me. She's pretty tech savvy.
Have you gone to Bookmark Managers? It's in the same area with the three dots.
Bookmarks manager and do
Yep.
what?
Click it.
Yep.
It's going to bring you to, on the side, left-hand side, there's going to be your bookmarks, a Grcsu bookmark. You see that?
I have a bookmarks bar and other bookmarks.
So no Grcsu?
Nope.
Okay, then you definitely probably do not have it.
I have nothing.
All right, we'll keep working on it, April.
All right, thank you.
Quick question, Lindsay.
Sure.
The early reading English, is A reading just above the first grade level?
A reading. Trying to think off the top of my head which one that goes.
I'm just only wondering which resources to look at above first grade.
So A reading is a screener used for grades 2 through 12.
Okay.
So some of your teachers are going to be using that.
You said are not, right?
They will be. So it
They
depends
will
on their
be.
grade level as to what assessments they're giving.
Gotcha.
Lindsay, are there going to be Proctor? Is there going to be a Proctor account set up to give the assessment across the board in a whole classroom instead of having all the kids log in? Or is it going to be we have to log everybody in one at a time?
So everyone's going to my knowledge, everyone's going to log in themselves. This isn't for K-1, but kids who have to go in. But they should be able to go in through Clever, so they won't have to type anything in.
Sorry, I forgot that's not a K-1 question.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure nobody gets nervous that they have to log kids in. That's okay, Carrie. It's relevant to your position in other grades.
Oh, and maybe other interventionists in here if they're going to have them in higher grades.
All right, why don't we all come back together and let me know if there's any questions about the math assessments or anything like that. Okay. And just so you all know, we're all in this. It's a learning curve for all of us this year. Formal training will be happening for a core group of people in September. So before the window opens, more people will have training, and you'll have people in each of your buildings that can really help you a little bit more with this. So April, Corey Smith is going to check in with you when she's in your building to see if we can problem solve the Clever issue.
Can you say that one more time?
Yes, Corey Smith is going to come see you when she's in your building to help problem solve the Clever issue, finding those bookmarks.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, so the last screener that you're going to be doing is the Saber Screener. So that is a social, academic, and emotional behavior screener. That's what the Sabers stands for. It's a 19-item rating scale that teachers complete about their students' social, academic, and emotional behaviors. It's designed to be used across grade levels K through 12. It will be completed 3 times a year, just like the academic portion. Only one educator can complete the Saber screening for a student during the screening period. So the classroom teacher in your instances would do it. And they say it should take about 1 to 3 minutes to complete per student. So it should be pretty quick. I remember doing it years ago on Fastbridge. And once you get used to the questions, it goes rather quickly. They do say the educator must know a student for at least 1 month prior to completing the screener, which is why we push the screening date back a little bit on Sabers. And that starts, I think we said, middle of October, or ends middle of October. I'll have to go back to my dates. So this assessment is set up that you answer the question. It's either never, sometimes, often, or almost always. Okay. And that's it. So it's a list of 19 items, never, sometimes, often, almost always for all your kids. And you go through. You can do it in multiple sittings. You don't have to sit down and go through all of your class at one time. I would recommend not stopping in the middle of a student if you can help it at all. Complete that so you can save it. But it shouldn't, in theory, take you too long to do each of these. So to get to the Sabers portion on Fastbridge, it's the exact same way that you got to Fast Track Reading and Fast Track Math. Okay, so you would go to your screening tab, and on the vertical menu over here, you're going to click on Sabers, and you'll click your class, and you'll have that clock there to start. Okay, and you'll open it, and it'll come up with your questions, and you'll click it right there on your screen. Okay. So that's it for Sabers. What questions do you have about that?
Lindsay, who do we contact if students are not in the roster yet? I'm missing several.
So we're finding that there's a lot of rostering challenges at the moment. So what I'm going to recommend is that you check back in the next week or two and see if it's been corrected. And if it's not corrected, then will you let me know?
Sounds good.
Okay. I just want to give a chance because it doesn't sound like it's individual issues. It sounds like there's challenges across the SU with it. So we'll get that figured out before the window opens.
Are the social emotional questions the same fall, winter, spring, or do they change?
I believe, Lorraine, they're the same.
I just wanted to say I really appreciate how everything in K1 is one-on-one.
Yes. I think that gives us a lot, some different information than the map assessment does, because we actually get to sit down with our students and see how they're processing the questions that we're looking at. Thanks, Becky. Any other questions? All right, so here's what you can do. You can spend some more time going over Fastbridge. There are also training videos on the Sabers portion if you want to go into that, if you want to spend some more time with reading or math. But you've got about 20 minutes before your next session starts, so feel free to just kind of explore Fastbridge a little bit more. I'll stay on here in case you have any other questions.
Lindsay, I have a question.
Sure.
Do I need to print this one that says early reading? And do I also need every subtest that, like this one says nonsense words? Do I need all of them or just this one?
So I'm just going to go into that. So, okay, so I think what you might be looking at is, did you print the screening and the progress monitoring portion?
Could be.
So I'm just going to share my screen here and I'll show you what I'm talking about here.
Well, when I did the nonsense words, I have the teacher and the student.
So the administrator, which part did you print, Sally?
Well, I started doing the bottom ones. So I went down to the other, down there.
Yeah,
But
so those are the progress monitoring.
Oh, so I'm, okay, so I don't need.
You just want
that's why I couldn't find the sentence one.
Okay, yes, so you just want the screening portion. Progress monitoring we're going to deal with later.
Okay, so I just need that top part.
Correct.
And so it's one package.
So a student package and then the administrator package.
Gotcha. Thank you. And is that just for fall or is that for all year?
I believe that screening part is for the whole year.
Thank you. That clears it up.
Carrie, do you agree with me?
Yes. So the thing about this, the screener is that in the fall, you're going to give concepts of print, onset sounds, letter names, and letter sounds, because those are the 4 that are part of the screener. But then in winter, it transfers over and you have onset sounds, letter sounds, word segmenting, possibly decodable words, and nonsense words. So that's why they give you all of them in one packet for that initial one, because partway through the year, like you only do concepts of print in fall. You can give it additionally if you need to for specific students, but those are the ones that will be, you know, put up there as part of their core score. So that's why it prints out all of those in that one section.
As long as I know I have everything here, I'm good. I can figure all that out. Thank you so much.
Lindsay, will people be learning about the progress monitoring in October in service?
I don't know if it'll be October. That would be my hope. But we also need to do the reporting. So we'll make a plan for that after we've had our training in September.
Sounds good.
But there is a plan for future work with this. Thanks, Becky.
Hey, Lindsay. Just a possibly Rutland Town specific question. Are we not using Fastbridge reading and math for 7 and 8?
It is right now K6.
Okay.
Let's have a conversation about that if you're interested.
Yeah, I think the at least ELA teacher is interested.
Okay.
In myself. So, I mean, it exists, right?
Yes. So everyone has access to it and everyone's using it for Sabers.
Right.
So if you wanted to, it's not required across the SU, but you certainly could. I don't see why you couldn't do it in your school if you chose to.
Okay, I'll touch base with her and see what she thinks.
Okay, great.